So the full update details are here for the global server 3.19. The server will be down at these times for approximately 6 hours. This does indeed confirm to bring the Tower of Greed. Also the Lucky Mystic Portal event, a bit of a rework to Amitoi expeditions, and some housing improvements. There are also a ton of general updates, including now the ability to upgrade stats on artifacts or even switch those stats to something else, but with a very high cost. However, there are improvements to the combat analyzer, the ability to properly customize your appearance effects, particularly the ones you get through DaVinci's favor, and there will be some new additions like footprints, and there are many more improvements. A fix to shields stacking between varying levels, and a fix where the HP bar did not fully display all shields stacked, so people had even more than shown. There are a whole bunch of weapon fixes here too, some adjustments, and so let's get into everything you need to know. With that Tower of Greed releasing, we also get a new adventure here, which you're going to need to do along with this extra codex to unlock in the co-op dungeon section the Tower of Greed. This allows you to complete floors, obtaining these breakthrough rewards and choosing if you want to obtain the greed rewards. If you do obtain greed rewards, it's going to fill up your greed orb, and once that's full you can no longer obtain any more greed rewards, and you can no longer obtain even any more breakthrough rewards, as each one will automatically fill a certain amount of greed regardless of your choice. The optimal way to go about this is to always claim the Jar of Greeds and then to only obtain relic analysis crystals, unless you want to take this a little bit slower, which is no problem. You will still be able to obtain all the rewards throughout the 4 weeks that it's out. But if you want to speed through it ASAP, simply always get the Jars of Greed, and as soon as you have enough to imprint here, do so you have more greed capacity, allowing you to claim more rewards as you go through and being able to unlock the next level of rewards. But ultimately, is it going to be worth it? Well, you can see the breakdown of all the rewards you're getting here if you manage to complete all of the floors. The important takeaway are the relic analysis crystals. Everything else is just a really measly amount that it's like, why is it even here? They could have given 70 million weapon mastery, and that's still barely anything. They could have at least given 1,000 unlock stones. Compared to the amount that you get by doing other activities, 100 is absolutely nothing in a month. But that aside, what you need these relic analysis crystals is for the new artifact system, the ability to customize the stats on them. But you will need a lot. For example, one roll on a chance to upgrade the stat, you can see here, is going to vary dependent on the stats, but it even has a chance to not succeed when spending like over 30 of these relic analysis crystals. Now yes, different stats will need different amounts of these, but it varies from like 20 to 35. And then you also have the ability to swap stats. Say I didn't want the stun chance and I want humanoid bonus damage instead for whatever reason. You would need 70 of these relic analysis crystals to switch that stat. If I look at what I have on the global server here, what do I have left to min-max on my build? We can go to quest log, see the exact stats we can get on all of these artifacts. We can see the breakdown and the amount of stats we're getting. And all I really need to do is on my Talystone 1, switch melee hit chance over to magic heavy attack, and then get that heavy attack I already have on there upgraded to max. So that's just 2 things. Don't need to worry about Talystone 1 or the Lunar Stone. Talystone 4, that can be optimized by changing the magic endurance over to magic critical chance and then upgrading it. So that's like 4 things to do. And then Talystone 3 is whatever. So I only have 2 stat swaps and 2 upgrades to do, and I'm done in terms of min-maxing damage output. I have no intention of getting like multiple different artifacts with different species damage bonuses, whatever. But the takeaway is I'll gain barely anything from this. And you look at these costs. 18 million solent just for one stat switch. 7 million for one chance at an upgrade, and it can fail. Just wait until enough people get triggered by these just failing to upgrade, and the devs will probably remove that fail chance. If you have free time, do your Tower of Greed, get all the rewards, but I wouldn't spend anything. I would wait for future updates. These relic and Nasus crystals won't be going away anywhere. And they have also announced, at least back on the Creator Roundtable I was a part of, that they will introduce higher ranks of artifacts. We don't know what that implication has then with regards to our existing artifacts. Will we be able to just upgrade them, or will we have to replace them with an entirely new set with different stats? And then will those stats be able to be re-rolled with these current Relic and Nasus crystals, or will you need different ones? There's a lot of unknowns here, and ultimately it's up to you. This is just some optional content, that's how I see it, and not a requirement for anybody, since the amount of total stats you're getting from artifacts is really not much, especially if you already have some pretty decent ones after opening thousands of the boxes. And these are all the rewards from the Tower of Greed, so it may just not be worth your time, which is rather unfortunate. They could have had quite a lot better rewards here. People also were hoping that they would come out with heroic materials to help people catch up, to max out these items and get some other items upgraded and maxed out. Maybe they could have even had traits in there, trait choice packs, to help max out stats like the wisdom on this wand, which costs an obscene amount of lucent to upgrade. But I digress, let's move on with the patch notes. So the Lucky Mystic Portal event, you'll simply claim your special Mystic Keys, and when you open your Mystic Globes using Mystic Keys, you'll be able to enter this little mini ground and obtain some extra rewards. Getting your Amitois and Morphs, a lot of them are unique to field boss drops. It's actually a pretty good event if you haven't got all of the Amitois yet. But Amitoi expeditions will be changing. You'll now be able to run 3 expeditions simultaneously, 1 per region. But the expedition duration is now determined by the location instead of being able to select 1 to 8 hours. And they're also adding Amitoi fatigue. So Amitois sent to one expedition can't be sent back there again. You'll see that applied cooldown here, and you'll see the required time. And you can still send up to 5 Amitois in the top regions. You can view the rewards here, and yeah, up to 5 Amitois, and it shows the chance to obtain those rewards. There's the new expedition here where you can even use contract rights to obtain your contract coins if you didn't want to do, say, cooking contracts or the actual contracts to kill enemies and stuff. You can also gather these points for when a boss appears, and then be able to raid the boss here to get these extra pouches, which again, if you have 5 Amitois here, you're getting quite a lot of extra pouches, but that's chance based, and these don't really give you anything much more special. Just a 10% chance at some of these morphs and Amitoids that we could already obtain, some furniture stuff, ores, and still a 5% chance to get some archboss materials. So nothing amazing here, nothing new, just a bit of a rework to the system to make it a bit more complicated, I guess, and to make use of having a lot of Amitois. As for housing, they have introduced the ability to change the shape of your walls. In the Korean update notes, they show some screenshots of how that will look. And yeah, this is awesome for customization, changing those windows and doors particularly. But moving on, they describe, yes, you'll be able to swap and upgrade stats on artifacts. You'll be able to get the custom footprint and be able to change the effects granted from Da Vinci's favor for your teleport and your morphing. That's just in your Mirror Boutique, the appearance effects here with those options. The Korean server did also get the new bundle with this outfit, got a pretty cool emote, and then this footsteps here. So just the trail you can leave behind. So potentially we'll get even more of that over time. With the combat meter, you can now store up to 20 instances of tests. This is pretty awesome. So if you're in a full dungeon, you'll be able to check back on the logs between the multiple phases. The tooltip for material effects. This has been improved a little bit to display exactly how much you're getting. In storage, there's a new button to automatically consolidate duplicate item stacks rather than having to manually move them around all the time. And then there's a lot of other fixes and quality of life improvements here, particularly with UI. In Island of Terror, they supposedly fixed the issue which caused players to get stuck when moving to a geyser while in rat form. And yeah, they fixed that issue where shields are being able to be stacked when you had multiple levels of this skill. It also throws into question what other skills are going to stack between levels. Something I'm sure you can test between a lot of abilities, maybe even Deadly Marker. And then there's a lot of weapon adjustments here, particularly just bug fixes and mainly tooltip updates. And they supposedly fixed an issue where you could occasionally fall through the flying whale, and fixing life skilling XP not being granted when gathering nodes on the floating islands. So that's about it for this update. Some new content with the Tower of Greed. You can probably blast through it within a week. Just again, make sure that you're claiming those jars of greed as soon as you can, and then imprinting it with your orb. You can only clear the orb, purify it, once per day. And that allows you then, once it's clear, to be able to continue claiming rewards. Every time you do get a reward, a breakthrough reward or a greed reward, you will fill up this greed meter. The greed rewards are optional, so basically don't select anything unless you really need it. And again, the important ones from here are the relic and Alice crystals. The main reason to do Tower of Greed is to get those, to be able to customize the stats on your artifacts. But yes, at very high costs, which realistically for me is not worth my time on my PvE damage builds. So hopefully this was somewhat insightful. A special thank you to all these channel members for your extra support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys around.